Hey peeps, Pheen here, and we're continuing on with the Grace Ace Attorney. Last time, we started to question some of the witnesses there, who are still claiming that someone was there that we clearly have seen. And we have gained some evidence to sorta claim that it proves against us, but it's time we use that against them. Alright, let's see right. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Oh, right, okay. So last time, it's been a while since I recorded, we ended up getting the medical report. And I am wanting to have it submitted so I can look into it. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern. Yeah, we clearly have proven that the witnesses, they've been making contradictions. I feel it's not as ironclad as you think. Whether or not they are concerned is up to us to decide. We have the right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well, the court will grant the defense's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Cool. I am already gonna dig into that. Oh, as soon as I can. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Alright, I'm gonna dig right into that. I can't examine it. Okay. Right, I hear you. Huh. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you'd like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kurakuta-san. Right! We were still mid-interrogation! Cross-examination. Interrogation is something different. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. So what does this actually say? We're not allowed to examine it? Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out! Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Back it up. Let's see. Furthermore, visual studies confirmed that they were the only personnel present. He alone, he was the Englishman dining all by himself. Like you from Jack could dispatch the Englishman. I don't. Oh, so we. Oh, you mean this? If I would have known, like, this is one thing that does get kind of annoying with the Ace Attorney games, is when you have to find something in between and then skim over everything else to get back to this point. It happens a couple of times, and it's kind of annoying in the sense that I could have just looked at this! Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it a little more in detail. You don't say! How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press space and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Using to rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles by using WASD. Oh, I have to use both. Unless it just lets me rotate it, which other games have. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press space to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Yeah. I'm just irritated because that's what I was just trying to do. Ugh. Okay, what do we got? And I can rotate automatically. Good. John Wilson, Haunted Clinic. It says Haunted Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics, almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Ugh, I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Wait. Dentist? It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. Probably a record of long-term treatment. That's why with a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible-tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then, they demand lots of money from you for their privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. A bad case of stubbornness, no less. For which the only cure is very better medicine indeed. I mean... he's not wrong. Oh, I can just do it all by mouse. Alrighty, what do we got? Oh, let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Yeah. Oh, there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Wait. Extraction of a molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? From my experience of getting my wisdom teeth removed, on the day of. 1. Normally, if you're under anesthesia, they expect you to have someone to go with you so that way you don't act like a total dipshit getting home. 2. Why are you eating? It would seem so. Just before the incident, you had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas? That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yeah, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner in a well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like the information we're bearing in mind. Yeah, that's about right. The meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time to listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Alright, what do we got? Mr. Disappearance confirmed to be your only personal present. He alone who was... Oh, really? No, don't examine! I love him just raising his hand. I'm so used to the pointing. Just raising your hand slowly just seems hilarious to me. Well, I think, About what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? Wow. I wish I could, but at first and foremost here, I am the accused. Ryunosuke, everyone stumbles upon their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in the cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposely, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Sorry, I know you guys can see my mouse. I'm kind of keeping it on so that way you're able to see where I'm pointing so it doesn't look like I'm just randomly picking things out of nowhere. If it does get annoying, I'm willing to take it off, though. Don't you feel like you have to choose your words carefully? Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Kurokuda-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness's statement, something clearly doesn't add up.
Dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur?
Sorry, what?
You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel.
But
let's see if I can explain it in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant.
But that's... Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point.
Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness's testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced
Attaboy. This medical report card has nothing to do with this case? Do you really believe that?
What? That almost half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How can it possibly be relevant?
Perhaps because Hada Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic.
A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted? What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that, as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating.
Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what?
It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off.
What? No, that can't!
Kurokuda-san! What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally,
there's more?
You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner.
What is this nonsense? You little upstart!
Ooh, I like this game's objection theme. They're usually all pretty good, so I'm not going to complain one way or another.
These are baseless accusations! Just look at this photographic evidence!
Yeah, let's look at this photographic evidence.
You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic?
How? How dare you!
I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant's case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely.
So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beefsteak?
It always comes down to beefsteak.
The court will now hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel?
Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it! So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... as an unyet known party. Obviously! It could only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person!
There was! Because I saw her! When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on this table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's as clear as the witness' testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial relentlessly. Kazuma?
Are you insane? You would take on the government?
Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you.
What do you mean?
I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand.
What are you talking about?
We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously, you will be charged with perjury.
Perjury?
And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder?
No! Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting.
Tactical meeting?
I was just following orders.
That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman that was there, told us. Go on. Oh. What? What did you just say, Kurakuda-san? No. You were just following orders. Now hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair?
Just one simple. Slip of the tongue! Order! Order! Counsel, explain what's going on here.
It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth.
Absolutely not! The prosecution knows nothing of this!
Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well,
that's classified.
So you prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you?
You wouldn't. This can't be happening!
Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Aoichi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can confirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Or, of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield this power, his or her were here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found new clues as a result. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we missed. There's no time to lose.
I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you, the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait! Your Excellency! I had no idea about any of this! I swear to every Shinto god! I knew nothing!
And what does the defense have to say about all this, huh?
Well, Your Excellency... No time to think. I just gotta have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes to my head. Okay, before anything, can we check the court records, please? Okay, we can actually examine this. See, time of death, of course we know this. Single bullet fired at close range, fatal hemorrhage, pectoral, ballistic trauma, no exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body, okay. Okay, nothing out of the ordinary. Wait. What? Hold on a second. How is he shot from the front, placed in front of here, and yet he was on the side with the food? Wait a minute. I thought you were a waiter. Let me just double check what that name was. Oh wait, I can't? Oh, come on! However, this is right, because that was his business card. Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san.
Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Poppycock! What possible reason could the waiter have to make the witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence.
For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter.
What? If he truly were?
Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity, as proven by this evidence.
I'm trying to double-click it to present, but...
I'm not sure what this is supposed to prove, Counsel.
Wait, what?
I think, Your Excellency, that was this proves is not the true nature of the waiter, but the true nature of the accused.
Sorry?
A blackguard who would stoop to
Do I have to confirm that I just... Is it gonna be one of those things where I have to have clicked to say, oh, I noticed what it said on the back? Hold on. Let me test that, because that's definitely what it is. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, don't you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga? Well, yeah, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigations Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence, if they're wielding it somehow here. Of course. There! Now does it work? I am still trying to do that. Unbelievable.
Plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything.
Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest.
Beg your pardon?
Or perhaps I should have said the front. Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is.
Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say?
Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of this business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession.
Wait, his profession? But that's surely... Good gracious!
That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigations Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before?
The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witness there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene?
Well...
Oh boy. Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility.
The court will take this plan and add to the court record as evidence.
Well...
Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once.
Of course. Here you are. Yeah, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over the business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So, you mean to say, you're really a detective?
But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Of course! Your salary must be... I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide.
Very well then, Inspector Hasanaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court.
Of course, Your Excellency.
We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was, in fact, another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct?
Correct, Your Excellency.
Unbelievable!
As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders.
Special orders? You mean to say...
Remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant wasn't to be concealed. Those were my orders.
But what if the Englishwoman was the killer?
I think it would be everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An English man has been murdered on our soil. To name an English woman as the primary suspect, well, without any refutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case.
But it's not right!
One possibility does spring to mind.
What do you mean, Kazuma?
Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman.
What?!
You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour.
You mean...
When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first.
Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector.
The Englishwoman sitting at the university student's professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory at Yume University's medical faculty.
What is happening here?!
I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with the situation.
Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
But, Your Excellency! crazy! That would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain! Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions!
Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence... Sorry, hiccups. To influence the proceedings in my courtroom. Inspector Hasanaga.
Yes, sir.
You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency.
At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau!
As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem? Nothing will get in my way.
Court will adjourn briefly. Prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes! Your Excellency!
Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening.